I am suffering from brutal cold, I think. It's something to do with my sinuses. My poor little boy, he's been out with it too. The whole family's gone through. So the only reason I'm mentioning that is because I'm about to do the first half of my D section on my ongoing video series about documenting my own vinyl collection. And so my I will have a very nasally sound and possibly some dribbling sniffs throughout the whole thing. Dribbling sniffs. Sounds like a great 70s punk band. Yeah, so this is the first half because, again, I'm trying to keep these things under like 20 minutes if I can. And the D section takes up roughly 2.5 cubes in a Kalax IKEA unit. Here, let me show you. This is the one that I have in the store. That's the Kalax IKEA unit. There's no records on that one there. But that's roughly it. Each of those cubes. So my D section is about 2.5. And to keep it under 20 minutes, I am dividing this video up into two. And maybe if I stopped repeating myself and saying things over and over again, we get this done in under 20. Anyways, let's go look at the records. Okay, so, that one's slipping. Here is the first half of the D's, alphabetically. I'm going through my record collection. Yeah, I've had a couple of comments about if I could sort of show the labels more often. So I've set this up so I can just flip them over and they should all be there. But again, I'm terrible at these things. So some of them might not, some of them might be. I've also had people ask me questions about this room. It's just a little photo booth that I set up because I do sell stuff online and on Marketplace and things like that that come out of the store. So, and my wife sells stuff online. So we've set up this little photo booth. And it's the only place that probably has decent lighting. Anyways, let's get on with the records. The Delfonics. Tell Me This Is a Dream. And that's on the Philly Groove Records label. You can see it there. It's great soul, funky soul. Desmond Decker, Israelites. That's the, I think that's the Canadian uni. No, that's the USA. On the USA uni label. The Delfonics, that's such a classic track. This was nice because it's in the shrink, and I believe it was in pretty good condition too. That is the Canadian one on the Bell label there. You can see it's distributed by Quality Records in Canada. The reason why I have so many Canadian presses, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Canada. If you want to go to the description there in wherever the descriptions section, I'm having trouble. I'm on some pretty good cold medication. But yes, in the description section, I will have links to my store page so you can sort of see what I'm talking about and where we're at. And there'll be some links to some of the my video finds, and then the rest of these alphabetical videos. We go through them. Death Sentence. My friend Jake Stout introduced me to this. Not a pretty sight. I'm not going to show the, that's the Fringe one. I'm not going to show the actual back shot because it's really upsetting. Guy's head split open like a melon. Dead Tired. This is a clear white, limited to 100. It's Canadian Hamilton, Ontario hardcore. Interestingly enough, there it is, split white vinyl. A couple of people have come in and been like, I know the guys in this band. So it says it's George Petit of Alexis on Fire is in it. I'm not super familiar with it. I just kind of dug it and put it aside for myself. The Milkmen. This was the first track I ever heard from the Dead Milkmen. You'll Dance to Anything. And then over the years, I always kept my eyes open for more stuff that's on the Canadian Enigma label. And this is sort of the essential Milkman that everybody should have a copy of if you can track it down. Big Lizard in My Backyard. Sadly, my copy is pretty beat. But it's all right because it's sort of like, noisy, punky music. Kennedy's 87. This one I've got written on there that I have the Interflexi and the booklet with it. But I'm not going to show those because I didn't get them out for some reason. But there you go. You can see that. I think this is on the, I think it was Fringe. Was that one? Apparently I have two copies. Yeah, it's the same one. This is a live recording. It's German, I believe, bootleg. I got this a little while ago. You can see the video where I found this and a couple other really nice punk pieces. It's from Satellite County in '82. Pretty good recording. Bedtime for Democracy, it's the 86th Canadian pressing, and this has the newspaper with it and their alternative tentacles. And I think this is a US pressing. There. You can't see. I believe that might be a US pressing, yes. This is a 2002 reissue. It's a US remastered on there. See that there? 81 pressing, and that's on the fringe. I think it might be the Canadian one. Possibly. So Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, you can't really say enough about this record. It is, it's probably the biggest crossover jazz record. Miles wanted to get paid. He was tired of just being sort of like, top of the jazz charts. And he saw what Sly and the Family Stone and a lot of other people were doing, funk bands were doing, and he just put this thing out and it blew everyone away, and it still does to this day. So that is the Canadian stereo version. Oh, there we go. I thought I was missing a couple of my Kennedys. There's another 1985 Canadian press. Frankenchrist, and that is the Canadian Fringe label right there. These are a little bit mixed up, which does happen. As an ongoing theme of this series is I can't find this record, probably because it's in a pile on the floor somewhere, not a piled pile, so don't freak out. There are no records were harmed during the making of this series. Dead Can Dance. I think this is, 4AD. Yeah. I love Dead Can Dance. I actually got to see, I was very lucky in that I got to see Dead Can Dance perform, it's 4AD Canadian Vertigo. I got to see them perform at, Massey Hall, which is a legendary Canadian venue. And it's the perfect venue for them, and it was an incredible show. The only thing that was a little bit strange was I was surrounded by, like, very goth-dressed younger girls, and they were often crying, and it was a fantastic and very emotional show. But like I was I'd never seen anybody, except for a spiritualized show, never seen anybody crying at a concert before. So there you go. Dazz Band Joystick, classic electro funk. It's just, everybody should have a copy of that. That's Motown's, probably Canadian Motown pressing. Davey DMX, early scratch DJ. This is, it's just a 12-inch. These are great. It's like, I love the early days of like electro hip hop, like the late 70s into the 80s stuff. I just think, they were using a lot of, creating a lot of new sounds, and it was phenomenal stuff. This is compositions of Miles Davis. And it's not all by, none of them are done by Miles, but you can see who's on there. Cannonball Adderley, Bill Evans, Wes Montgomery, Herbie Mann, Sam Jones, Red Garland, and Mark Murphy. It's just kind of interesting. Sort of a lot of those guys were sort of the cool jazz sound coming out of the West Coast, and this is the Riverside label. They were known for that. Okay, so here's most of my Miles Davis now. So it's a 57 USA mono with the classic Roundabout Midnight. There you go. It's Columbia 6i. It's in pretty good shape too. I have this wax time one. This is actually a pretty good remaster. It's not like audiophile quality, and I know a lot of jazz guys are hardcore audiophile guys, so it's not really audiophile, but it's still a pretty good clean thing. That's the Canadian version of it, and I think this was a year after, so if the other one was 50, it's probably 58. That's the Columbia Canadian modern one. Modern. Steam with Miles Davis on Prestige. And that's it there. And that is is that the New Jersey address? Yeah. There you go. This is one that's really, I love this record. It kind of, it's very much a continuation of, like, if you like Bitches Brew, Get Up With It is really a great record to sort of accent that, follow up with that, whatever. But it's brilliant, and it often gets overlooked. I didn't even know about it probably until about 10 years ago, and it's really good. Like, I love that record. This is a little harder to find. It's 55. I believe it is the first recordings of Miles Davis. And I've got on here flat edge, non-deep groove, matte label, maroon and gold. And it is pretty rare. It's a tough one to find. Now, it's not in the greatest of shape. Plays through, but there is surface noise in it, but there's the label there. You can see the cover there. I believe, because Charles Mingus is on there with him, I think that this is the first Miles Davis recordings as Miles Davis. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what it was. This is a reissue of On the Corner. There you go there. I'm not sure what year that is, but it is definitely later because there's the barcode. Great album. Kind of Blue. I think this might have been sort of the first jazz record that got to me. I love Paul Chambers. I think he's a phenomenal bass player. Coltrane's on there. This is just, you know, I mean, it's a legendary session. That's a reissue, 180 gram on the Legacy vinyl. I don't even know if I've opened that. Good Lord. Relaxing with Miles Davis. This is the 58 US. It's deep groove on the Prestige label there again. And then the last one. I could be wrong on this because, again, I'm not like a jazz expert by anything, but I believe that these were sort of the three, because Miles had signed with Prestige, and I think these he owed them 3 more records. So he sort of put together this group with Coltrane, Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones, and he was trying to get out of the contract because he had been offered a contract by Columbia that was much more lucrative. So Prestige said, no, you owe us 3 records. So we got together and he did these last 3 records. And they're really great, but you can sort of feel that, you know, he was working towards something else. And there you go there. There's the label there on Prestige. And you can see that he was working towards this, because there's Paul Chambers, John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley's on there, and it was his first release on Columbia, Kind of Blue. It is, you know, it's a benchmark for jazz records and jazz recordings. And there it is. It's the Columbia 6i version made in the USA. And yeah, it's such a phenomenal record. Bertha Cool, sadly, is this the Canadian one? Yeah, this one's in Capitol, so I think, yeah, it's the Capitol Canada Swirl. Got a bit of damage to the cover, but that's all right. You don't play the covers. This is really interesting stuff. It's like electronic music, and if you come across this, pick it up. It's 2018, Marie Davidson. This one's on pink vinyl. It's a reissue. I can't remember all the stuff behind it, but if you got a chance, Google some of that stuff. I'm not the hugest Dave Clark 5 fan. I like them, but out of all sort of the British Invasion beat groups that came through, they weren't my most favorite. But I love Jaguar E-types. Like, my friend growing up, his dad had one in a barn that was a convertible, and we used to just sit in it and play it, and that's my dream car. Never gonna have one because everybody wants one now and they're stupidly expensive. But D'Angelo, Lady, I think this was his Brown Sugar record is like, I play it at least every 2 weeks. It's phenomenal. It's like, I unfortunately I only have it on CD, and then I have a few singles. I have 2 other singles often. I don't know where they are right now, so don't worry about that. The Dandy Warhols. I've seen the Warhols probably like, I don't know, over 10 times, I think, at this point. And every time you come walking out of there thinking they're the greatest band in the entire world. And live, they are absolutely phenomenal. It's like, it is, they're just one of my favorite bands ever since the first one came out. And you know, I don't go to shows anymore, but I think I would probably go see them again if someone said, hey, you got to come. So this is the director's cut of the Welcome to the Monkey House, because I guess they didn't like the initial remix or something, and so they issued this in 2009. That is the first one, but it's a 2015 reissue, limited on white vinyl because I have it on CD like most people did. Distortland, just the plain black vinyl version. This is the Warhol Live, apparently only limited to 400 copies on gray vinyl. I don't get the whole like limited new thing and different colors and stuff like that. I rarely buy new records anymore, but hey, there you go. The Damned, Damned. This is stiff, but it's a later reissue, and I can't remember exactly when. 86 German repress, and I had something else too from the Damned. I don't know where that is. Oh well, it's kicking around someplace, but any Dick Dale's worth getting. This is his like he was known for his surf stuff, but you know, he's an instrumental guitar aficionado, like he's fantastic. And there was a huge crossover between like the surfing and hot rod scene and the whole California thing, so he did his hot rod record, and that's it there. And then there's Dick Dale and the Deltones with King of the Surf Guitar. So and that is the Capitol Rainbow, and somebody from Woodland, California put their address tag on there. So that's right. Yeah, that's a US pressing. Okay, I'm just going to pause this for a second because I probably have to go blow my nose. And then I'm going to stack these back up, and we'll go through this pile over here. And there we go. We got those stood up. I can breathe again. And here we go. So this is Descendents. Enjoy. It's SST. I couldn't tell you. The thing about SST is even the matrix numbers, trying to track them down, it becomes like a thing. I can't tell. I believe this is a later pressing. And same with this. I believe this is a later pressing too, probably later reissue on SST, but it's in perfect shape, so that's why I love it. Depreciation Guild. So I went and saw, oh man, I can't remember the name of the band now. School of Seven Bells. And they played in Toronto. And it was the original lineup with the two sisters, and his name was Ben. Sadly, I think he's passed away. And it was a phenomenal show. But these guys opened for them. Never heard them before, and I bought the record at the merch table, and it's pretty good. I mean, you know, check it out. Depeche Mode. This is, yeah, Everything Counts, but it's from the 101. So it's live version. That's the 89 UK. That is the 101 tour WS Columbia House pressing. And you can see that one right there. So that's it. Violator, 1990. Blasphemous Rumors, 84 UK. So again, another ongoing thing with my series of my records here is I sell off parts of my collection when I need money every so often. It's just unfortunate the way things have gone, but that's just sometimes, you know, if reality set in. And I have talked about how a lot of my 1980s bands that I love, I knew they would sell quickly. So when I was setting up at record shows, I would put those out and they went really fast. So my Cure collection and a few others. Depeche Mode went through a lot of that too. I did try and keep a lot of the 12-inch singles. And I did keep this, which is Martin Gore and Andy Fletcher had signed it. So they're both there. It's kind of cool. There's nothing in the actual sleeve itself. That's just a sleeve sign, but I'll keep that in there anyways. This was the first Depeche Mode song that I ever heard. I think it was 83, so I would have been like 12. And I loved it. It's still my favorite Depeche Mode song, Everything Counts. And this version, I think it's like a 7-minute long version of it. I don't know. Yeah, but I believe it's like a super long version. It's in here. It's phenomenal. Question of Time, the 86 single. I think that's Canadian. 12-inch. There's Black Celebration, pretty great album. It has the embossed cover there you can see, and I'm pretty sure that's Canadian copy too. Yeah. Get the balance right. Canadian 12-inch. Dream On, which has, it's 2 record set, 2 12-inches. It's a promo, and it's just a lot of remixes. It's kind of interesting to have. This is the German Master and Servant on Platter ver Bargain im Vinyl. It's German. You can't tell I butchered that. And it, I believe that meant what I just read. It's on marble splatter vinyl, which is kind of cool for an 80s record, although there were a couple that were putting it out at a time. I can think of Debo off the top of my head right now. Enjoy the Silence 12-inch, 1990 pressing, and I think that's a UK. Sorry about the glare, and there you go. Behind the Wheel with the Shep Pettibone remix. I actually saw Depeche Mode a couple of times. The one that comes to mind right now is I got to see them in, I can't remember. It was sometime in the mid-80s. They played at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, which is no longer there. It's now where the Toronto FC team play. They knocked the stadium down. It's where the Blue Jays used to play. Anyways, they turned the stage, they would put the stage at the 50-yard line and turn it to one side. So, and then they would only sell tickets to one side of that stadium for some of the shows. Usually for the huge bands, they thought they could sell the whole stadium out. They put them in the end zone. Like I saw U2 there and the Stones there and David Bowie there, and that was the way it was. But for Depeche Mode, I don't think they thought they could do it. They probably could have, because it was packed. And OMD opened for them, who were also huge at the time. So another version of Everything Counts. And that is my 13-year-old handwriting. God, I love doing this. I love going through my record collection and just seeing things I forgot about. And I knew enough not to actually write on the record. I wrote on the outer sleeve and put a little label on there. God, my handwriting is just as worse, I think, now than it was back then. This is great. This is the On You Sound remixes. I love On You Sound, and almost all the remixes they have are phenomenal. So that's worth picking it up. And that's, what's the track? Oh, it's a Strange mix. So it's like a mix of all their different tracks that they just did. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Pick it up if you can. Here's another On You Sound. This is 1984 limited. Yeah, it's Adrian Sherwood, basically, who's On You Sound. And I don't know why it's gone there. There's nuts and bolts, but it's People Are People, In Your Memory, bunch of different stuff, all remixed, and they sound phenomenal. And there's another one. Like 3 of them. I don't know why. And look, this is later. There's more of my handwriting from back when I was a teenager. That's great. Never Let Me Down Again. It's Canadian pressing, and I don't know what that price sticker is there for. But yeah, so Some Great Reward. I don't have that one on a sleeve. Oh, which is that again? Is that the People Are People record? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, People Are People. I don't know why I didn't see that right. That's Canadian pressing. Sandy Denny, phenomenal folk thing. This is a box set. I probably will get this out of my collection because I'm just not a huge enough fan. It's a lot of live performances from 60s and outtakes and demos. It's sort of like, if you're a huge fan, this is the thing for you. Like, I've got a couple of I got a Jesus and Mary Chain box set that's just a completist thing, and this is that. I'm not the biggest Sandy Denny fan, so I do love her, and I, believe she was in Fairport Convention too, which I like Fairport Convention. But yeah, I don't know. This one might make it onto the store floor. Oh, Martin Denny. I love space age, bachelor pad, jazzy, exotica music. Not gonna lie, I didn't get into it. There were 2 reasons. One, Stereolab, and the other was my friend Graham Christensen, who turned me on to Esquivel, and just the wackiness and the beauty and lushness of almost all of these. And they're just really phenomenal and interesting things. Not like nothing else I was listening to at the time, and I think that's why I liked it just as much. But this is a 1960 Liberty Pressing, USA. Plus the album covers. I mean, they're great. So many Pretty, pretty ladies. Exotic Percussion. I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's from around the same time, probably the early 60s. This USA Exotica Volume 2. It's a 57 pressing on that label. Seen that? The Enchanted Sea. Look at those eyes. Like, just gorgeous. And what do we got? This is the Canadian one. There you go. That's what the Canadian equivalent label looks like. There's the American. There's the Canadian, London Liberty. And then Exotica, which was 1960. And that's on the U.S. Liberty, I believe. Yeah, Los Angeles, California. The Demics wrote an incredible track called New York City. And they were like, I forget when this came out. I think it was like 70, 78, 77. Should have had that written down. But they were a Canadian band, and that track is phenomenal. And Talks Cheap is another great one on there too. So on Ready Records, there you go. Check it out. And then De La Soul. I love De La. I love this era of De La. So I got a couple of 12 inches here. Me, Myself, and I. And then it says free sticker, but I never got the sticker. It wasn't in there. It's too bad. There's more. There you go. Jimmy and Jenny. I'll show that's the Canadian London label, because that's the Tommy Boy US. And then Buddy. And then, yeah, there's like 6 different versions of it on there. That's the Canadian one again. This Yo, check this out, I think came with... Did it come with this one, or did it come with this one? I think it came with this one. They put these two together, and they included this Yo, check this out. So I've always put it in there, and I can't remember. Cookie Crew, and I think Dale is on the other side. Sorry, here's some terrible camera work, but I'm sure if you follow along. No, yeah, that's it. It just goes, they just go together. So, it's a UK 89 pressing, Me, Myself, and I. Say No Go, 1989 pressing. And then I was absolutely shocked to see how valuable this record has become. 3 Feet High and Rising. Sadly, I do not have a copy of Balloon Mind State, which is my favorite. I have it on CD, obviously, but not on vinyl. So this will have to do, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's the Canadian version of it. Oh, and the price is on there again. That's not what I paid, because I'm cheap. Oh, that's why this is... Hang on. There you go. Plug 1, they're all in there. Pasta News. Yeah, they're all there. Is this one like that? No, I guess that's the only one. Just Say No Play. So it's one-sided with an etching on the other thing. Oh, so the pricing, again, that's an ongoing thing on here. I put the prices on these things sometimes in my collection so that if I do meet an untimely end, she's so pretty and distracting, that my other half doesn't go and sell all these for $1 a piece, like she has threatened at a garage sale if I do pass away, which would be great for you guys. It'd probably even be worth you guys flying out. But I would probably be spinning in my grave if they found the body. All right, on that happy note, hope you guys are able to find some stuff while you're out there digging in the crates. And next week, I will put out, maybe the week after, put out part 2 of the D's. Bye.